So why a mastermind? The Ascentive Mastermind is different to most mastermind groups out there in the world. Doesn't make it any better, it just makes it different. And so one of the reasons I wanted to bring Ramez here is a very good friend of mine, Ramez Helou. And Ramez, I know that you've been involved in other masterminds in the world, and I also know that you're getting involved in the Ascentive Masterminds. Can you tell me, really, why did you get involved in a mastermind? What was the benefit? And why you're so keen to get involved in the Ascentive Mastermind? And maybe about what's different and what makes it unique.
Right. So going back to 2010, if I were to say, when I started the Academy for Sales Excellence, so all of a sudden going from working with a multinational to working for myself, and in a way at the time I was by myself. And it gets to be quite lonely. It gets to be quite challenging in terms of managing all the variables of being able to create a product, market the product, launch a product, deliver a product, support the product. And I had always read about the principle of a mastermind from the author, Napoleon Hill in his Think and Grow Rich book. And together with a few entrepreneurs, we decided to then, they were also in similar shoes. We had complementary skills. We sat and we decided to do a mastermind. And it was rigorous every single week for 1.5 hours, 3 of us, and then it grew to 4. And I can tell you, I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for that early mastermind process. And the beauty of that is whenever 2 minds come together, a 3rd mind is created. When we were 4, we had multitudes of different things. So I would bring the sales development, business development aspect. Carol Talbot would bring the mindset NLP part. Sunil Jaiswal, he is a business entrepreneur, financial guru, brings that aspect. And then a gentleman by the name of Robert Umpleby, who's also another online marketeer expert, friends of Sunil that got with us. So I would say it was the structure, it was the rigor, and it was someone to listen to me, to understand me. And the best thing about it is to get quick access to a dozen or great ideas, dozens of ideas, I'd say, that actually helped me shape my business in the early days.
Interesting. And so what I heard really was, you wouldn't be here today. Quick access to really knowledge and skills that you didn't have. But interestingly, you were able to contribute to their journey as well, which I think is really powerful. Yep. Okay. So obviously there's different kinds of mastermind formats out there. I know there's some masterminds where they meet 6 people for 6 hours once a month. Yours was 1.5 hours a week. Ascentive are doing a different dynamic again, where it's less hours but more people. So for what reason have you, I mean, you're a busy guy. Yeah. You run a very successful company, and at the same time, you're still looking at getting involved and helping out in the mastermind community. For what reason are you getting involved in doing this?
There's a saying, I'm not sure where I got that, but it says you cannot shed light on someone else's path without shedding it on your own. So sometimes it's easier, and this is how the brain is work. The brain works. Sometimes it's difficult for us to untangle our own problem. It's easier to untangle others. However, as you help others in the process, you're helping untangling yourself. So it's kind of a reverse psychological process.
That reminds me of it's a little bit like people are always really good at giving emotional advice and relationship advice, but themselves they can't do it. Right? It's the same kind of concept.
In a way, but the beauty of it is now they get to reflect on their own relationships and they get to give themselves that advice because now they're becoming aware of it from a different angle. I'd even build on that. I've been involved with Ascentive since 2010, since my start of the journey. So the element that Ascentive brought to my business was the way of growing my network, my referral sources, my referral partners, to help decrease the amount of business development time, accelerate conversions, then do multitudes of things. And the communities that I've been involved with, which is a sort of a mastermind, which was in the infancy, how we got to where we are today, have been extremely unique because there was a common theme that we came with a common theme. We came with that business growth principle, and we helped each other around a basic, let's say, toolkit, the Ascentive Pro, that basic body of knowledge. So I'm really excited as I get involved in helping others along the process. It's only going to solidify things in terms of reinforce of what I'm currently doing and ensure that I keep doing more of it to achieve even further business growth.
It's kind of interesting. I suppose if we put this into a sports metaphor, if you've got a football team, a soccer team, and you want to take on the best team out there, well, it's one thing to fill it with a champion pole vaulter, a champion swimmer, a champion chess player. These are all great people, but they're all champions that don't speak the same language. And the chances of winning against any team are going to be minimal, even though they're all experts. However, if you take those experts, all those natural sports people, and put them through an intensive 3-month, this is how you play football, then put them in the team, they've got a much better chance of performing. And I think that's what makes the Ascentive Mastermind so much stronger, is they do have this advanced client acquisition, strategic resource support and information system that you then can apply to this group of people.
Absolutely. And I'd even say what we've seen in the past, where we are sitting together as business owners, entrepreneurs, having that common framework then allows us to tap into additional knowledge. Whether someone is like me, a sales speaker, consultant, is able to add value from that perspective. And we always look out for each other. So I think, someone asked me, do I believe in coaching, masterminding. And at one point in time, I had 3 coaches. One was a personal trainer, as a personal, someone that helped me with my fitness. At one point in time, I had same time a life coach. So personal trainer, life coach, and on top of my business mind, my mastermind, business mastermind, I had a business coach. Someone that was helping me looking at different elements of my business, structuring it to help in scaling it. And I think how do people get better? There was Atul, I forgot his last name, talks about people get better when they get formal education. So you go learn to become a lawyer, learn to become an accountant, then you go and do it. But today, in the world of sport, people are good not because they're good and they stop, but because they have this growth mindset and they're continuously looking to keep getting better. And the biggest question I ask my clients is, do you feel you've reached? It's only when you feel you've reached that you start slipping. And how do you ensure that you continuously keep the engines on while the plane is flying? And the story of Wrigley, J.W. Wrigley, the founder of Wrigley Chewing Gum, someone asked him, he was on a plane, why do you keep advertising for your brand of chewing gum and knowing that you are the most recognized brand? And he looked at the person and he said, for the same reason that the pilot of this airplane keeps the engine on when he's up in the air. Turn the engine off, see what happens. So it's all about continuous evolution, and not to talk about what's happening in the world. So the world is changing. What used to work just 1 or 2 days ago is not working as effective. So it's always about that quick reiteration, quick ability to be aware of what's changing and then make a decision to get better.
And I think as well, from a business owner perspective, you may be okay today, but you don't know what problem's going to slap you tomorrow. And so when you've got that group of, and that's what I particularly liked about the Ascentive models, because it's such a larger community, when you have a problem, there's more chance that somebody has experienced that. And you solve this problem today, then there's another one tomorrow and another one the day after that. So the bigger your resource base is of people that care and want to help,
absolutely,
there's more chance of solving that problem, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Looking forward to the future, buddy.
Yeah, absolutely. This has been sometimes we need a coach, we need a guide, we need someone to hold us accountable, and this is how we end up evolving and getting better. I heard someone say something like, think of what the business world would look like in the next 3 to 5 years, and instead of waiting for that to happen, why don't you go ahead and create your business today of what it would look like in the next 3 to 5 years? Because if you don't, when 3 to 5 years come, you might not be in business. So you gotta really keep evolving and getting ready for that opportunity.
Ramez, thanks for your time, man.
Pleasure.
Good.
Okay.
Come and check it out. See what we can do for you at the AMC, which is Ascentive Mastermind Community.